Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one because we are going to be playing with the new-ish Colourpop Lucky Penny collection. This collection comes with an eyeshadow palette. It also comes with 3 different cheek duos that have a blush and highlighter in each and 3 different lippies. I feel like with this collection it kind of got swept under the rug fairly quickly. That happens often with Colourpop collections, but especially this one because they had the Nightmare Before Christmas collection announced pretty much immediately after, and that collection got a lot of hype, both positive and negative talk. So yeah, I feel like this one was just kind of like swept under the rug because it's like warm neutrals versus the Nightmare Before Christmas, which is like highly anticipated because, you know, it's like a big collab. So, and also it was kind of like sandwiched between like Hocus Pocus, the NBA collection, then this one came out, and then the Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's like a lot of collabs, and then this one was just kind of thrown in there. So I feel like it got overlooked. So when I got this in PR, I really wanted to do a whole video dedicated to it because I feel like the other ones are just getting more attention. I am wearing the entire collection on my face today. I did a little demo on this eye look if you want to see it. I also did swatches of everything and gave you like my final first impressions. So I don't want to make this intro too long just because, you know, my videos are usually fairly long. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. Okay, my friends, I thought before I do an eye look, I would do some little swatches for you. So this is what the outer packaging looks like, and then this is what the palette looks like. I'm not going to do any dupes in this video. That being said, I think if you have the Bare Necessities palette, you'd probably have something similar to almost every shade. But I thought that if I did duping as well, that this video would just be way too long. So I'm gonna avoid doing that today. If you do want to see a duping video, just leave it in the comments down below and I can definitely do that. I'm going to take this little mirror sticker off because it's super satisfying, but I can't seem to get it. Okay, a little sticker porn for you. Ooh, yeah. That was good. I think this palette is super pretty. When I first saw it, I was very excited. Oh, one of my shadows is cracked. Also, if you hear any creaking in the background, I'm sorry. We had to turn our heat on. It's freaking freezing. It happened all of a sudden. It feels like we didn't even get a fall. It was like 20 degrees and now it's like close to 0 degrees. There was no in-between period. So we had to turn our heat on, and our house is old, so it makes it creak a little bit. Anyways, the first shade we have is called Shiny Objects. Also, I have some cuts on my hand. They're from little kittens. Brian's mom has little kittens in her barn, so I was playing with them. And of course, you know kitten claws if you have ever had a kitten. But little kittens do have very sharp claws. So they got me good a few times. So that's why I have a couple scratches on my hand. Nothing serious, just some kitten playtime. I'm really hoping that my parents will take one of the kittens, or maybe 2. I don't know. I'm really hoping. Okay, so the first shade is called Shiny Objects, and this is what it looks like. Colourpop describes this one as a metallic warm golden champagne. That's so pretty. I really like that. The formula is super smooth and reflective too. Ooh. That's really nice. Next up, we have the shade Token. I swear Colourpop has kind of revamped their formula because their recent palettes, most of them I think, have been really, really good in formula, like better than usual. So this is the shade Token. Colourpop describes this one as a matte warm nude. It's just a warm toned brown. I mean, nothing in this palette is going to be particularly special because it is just warm neutrals. If you love warm neutrals, then this might be for you. I really like warm neutrals personally. Wow, this shade is so soft. Colourpop has had to redo their formula. So this shade is called Like New, and it is a matte warm caramel. I don't know if that's how I would describe it. Honestly, I would describe this one more so as a matte warm caramel. This one kind of looks more chocolatey to me. It's a lot deeper than a caramel, in my opinion, just how I would describe it. So yeah. That is the shade Like New. Ooh, this one's so pretty. This is the one I'm most excited about. Sorry, I have an itch. This is the shade Copperhead, and it's a metallic warm copper. It just has like an incredible sparkle to it. Oh, it's so pretty. And it's a really soft shade. It kind of feels like a Super Shock shadow. Almost like a Super Shock and regular eyeshadow hybrid. Like that's how kind of like soft it is. Really, really beautiful. Oh, love it. Next up we have the shade Favor, which is spelt weird because this is an American palette. Spelt without the U. And Colourpop describes this one as a metallic warm rustic gold. It kind of reminds me of MAC's Amber Lights from back in the day. Do you remember when that shadow was like all the rage? That and all that glitters. Ugh, good times, man. Early 2010s beauty YouTube was like how I got into makeup, so it's like super nostalgic for me. It's just a super warm toned gold. Yeah, I think they described it accurately. Oh, this one's a little bit stiffer. It does have those little tiny glitter particles. It's like a sequin formula. This is the shade Hit It Big. Colourpop describes this as a matte penny with gold pinpoints. I don't know if the gold and sequin flecks will show up, but they're definitely there in person. I think they would blend away though, like if you apply it on the eyes. This is the shade that came cracked. It looks fine. Like I think if I'm careful with it, it'll be okay. But it did come a little bit cracked. This is the shade Coin, and Colourpop describes this one as a matte brick red. We have seen this one like quite often, especially from Colourpop, but it's still nice. Next up we have the shade Makin' Sense, but instead of like sense, like S-E-N-S-E, it's like cents, like money. This is described as a metallic penny. I don't know if I would describe it as that. I would describe it kind of like a metallic bronze almost. Like copper is more like this shade in my opinion. This is more bronze to me personally. These swatches are getting a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. And next we have the shade Bouillon. Bouillon? My first instinct is to say that with like a French, not accent, but like in French. Colourpop describes this one as a matte warm chestnut. It's a really nice deep brown. This is like exactly what I was looking for to put into my kit. And this is the eyeshadow palette. Super beautiful. I'm really excited about it, even though it's just warm neutrals. I don't know, I just get excited about eyeshadow. I really like it. I think it's pretty, and I think the formula feels like really nice just from swatching it. It feels very luxe, very soft. Feels better than Colourpop's like usual formula. I feel like they should say though, if they've upgraded their formula. I feel like that would be a good marketing point, but what do I know? So next up in this collection, there are 3 light and blush stick duos. It comes in like a lighter tone, a medium tone, and a deep tone, which I really appreciate. Colourpop was called out earlier in the year for their lack of inclusivity, so I feel like this is like a good attempt to rectify that. It's definitely going in the right direction. I don't remember which one's like light, medium, and dark, so I'm just gonna start with whatever. This is the shade A Pretty Penny. I did open these and look at them, but I put it back in the box for this video. I really like the packaging. Okay, so for the light sticks, it doesn't have the shades at the bottom. That's one thing I noticed. I thought it was a little weird. It's on the side, which I don't really care, but just something to note. So this is the highlighter. This is the shade On a Streak. I'm just gonna swatch it just like straight from the tube. It's like a warm toned kind of light-ish stick highlighter. I don't know. And then for the blush, we have the shade, this is hard to read, Cash In. Oh yeah, so this is I think the light version, because this like is a super light terracotta. Oh, that is very shiny. It's like a very glossy kind of finish, which I don't remember these stick blushes being. So I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can kind of see that glisten there. If you like dewy blushes, this one might be right up your alley. It's like a really pale terracotta, but yeah, very dewy. That's the first thing I noticed. Interesting, because I don't remember them all being like this. So again, that was the duo A Pretty Penny. Next up we have My 2 Cents. This looks like it's the medium toned one. I did not do that on purpose. I didn't go light, medium, deep, again, purposefully. It just kind of turned out that way. So this is the shade Minted, and it's like a gold highlighter, like a light, not really light, I'd say like a medium toned gold. Ooh, that's really pretty. And then this is the shade for blush, Spot Me. Ooh, again, very dewy. I'm very surprised at how dewy these are. This one's like a medium toned terracotta. I will compare all 3 blushes beside each other and then all 3 highlighters beside each other. And that is the My 2 Cents duo. And finally, we have the duo Good and Copper, like good and proper. Punny. I think this one is the deep one. Okay, so this is the shade Happy Accident, and it's like a deeper bronze. Oh, that's so beautiful. I don't know how I would ever wear this. I think it's way too shimmery as a bronzer, but it's so pretty. That's that shade right there, the shade Happy Accident. So pretty. And then next up we have the shade Got Change. And this one is like a deep terracotta. So beautiful. I wish this one was a little bit darker. Like I wish there was a little more pigment to it, because I feel like on deeper skin tones, something like this might not show up despite looking deeper in the tube. But there it is nonetheless. And that is the Good and Copper duo. Okay, so for highlighters, these are all 3 of them swatched together. This is the lightest, this is the medium toned, and this is the deeper one. So this is the shade On a Streak, this is the shade Minted, and this is the shade Happy Accident. Okay, and for blushes, these are the three. This is the lightest one called Cash In. In the middle, we have the medium tone one, which is called Spot Me. And here's the deepest one called Got Change. As you can see, I feel like these two are rather similar. I wish this one had a lot more depth to it. That's just my personal opinion. These two just look too similar to me to justify purchasing both. Okay, and lastly in the collection, we have 3 velvet liquid lipsticks, the luxe ones. Okay, so this first shade is like more of a cool tone actually, which I thought was interesting for this collection. It's the shade Penny Pincher. I hate the smell of these. I don't know why. Ooh, I love that color. It's actually a bit more warm toned than I was expecting. This is literally like my lip color, just a little more vibrant, I feel. But like the undertone is my lip color, almost. This is just a messy swatch, but it's a really pretty color. I like that a lot. The application was terrible, but again, this is the shade Penny Pincher. I love that, that's so pretty. I'm surprised at this shade. I thought this was gonna be like my least favorite because it looks almost like gray toned in the tube, but it's definitely not. Like that a lot. Okay, so that is the shade Penny Pincher. The mid-tone one we have is called Tried and True. Actually, let me read Colourpop's description. I didn't even think about that. Oops. I also didn't do it for the cheap products. My bad. So Colourpop describes the shade Penny Pincher that I just had on as a soft, warm rose. Then we have Tried and True. This one looks like it'll be significantly deeper. Yeah. And it's very warm. I don't love warm tone lips on me. I just feel like sometimes I can get alpha-getty mouth where it literally looks like I've just eaten a can of like Chef Boyardee or something and it's all over my mouth. That's what I feel like when I wear warm tone lipsticks sometimes. It's still pretty. I just don't know if it's like very me, you know? But again, it is the medium toned one and I'm super fair. So this is described as a rusted terracotta. I really like this formula. It feels softer than normal. I don't know if I'm just making that up. Yeah, I really like the formula. Interesting. And finally, we have the shade On a Roll, which is described as a deep sangria. Oh yeah, that is pretty deep. Ooh, I really like that color. That is such a pretty color. I really like that. It doesn't feel as soft and velvety as the other ones, but it's still really pretty. I'm excited about the lippies actually. I didn't think I would be. 2 out of 3 I really, really like. And the third one isn't like bad. It's just like, I don't know how much I'll actually wear it, you know? The last one will stain. Side note. Doesn't bother me, I just thought I'd mention it. So yeah, those are swatches of everything. Now we can get into doing a little look on my entire face actually. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay friends, so let's just get started on a look. I think I'm gonna do a halo eye today. I think that's just my vibe. It's what I'm feeling, so let's just go for it. I'm just going to prep my lid with some e.l.f. Hydrating Camo. Just gonna blend that in. Then I'm gonna take this itty bitty pencil brush and I'm going to take this shade here called Like New. That was kind of out of focus, but that's the shade I'm gonna take. And I'm just going to add this to the inner and then the outer corner as well. And then I'm just going to take what's remaining on the brush and kind of connect the inner and outer through the crease, but like very lightly. Like I'm applying almost no pressure. Then I'm just going to take this other little itty bitty pencil brush and I'm going to take this lighter shade here called Token. And I'm just going to apply that over top, just like that. It looks a little bit messy right now, but it'll come together. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my Urban Decay The Fix pressed powder. I'm going to use this on a Fenty 240 brush, and I'm just going to set the brow bone. Then I'm just going to take this little Fenty 230 and I'm going to go into the shade Token again. And I'm just going to use this shade to buff out what I already put down. Okay, now that those shades are buffed out a little more, I'm going to take more of the shade Like New and just apply it more intensely on the inner and outer corner because I really want there to be a significant kind of depth difference there. I'm also just going to go ahead and set the rest of my lid because I'm going to cover it up with concealer soon anyway. So, and then I'm going to take a mixture of this shade and this shade here, and I'm just going to add that little concoction into the inner and outer corner again, and I'm just going to kind of blend that into the center a little bit. Then I'm going to take a little more of my Hydrating Camo concealer and I'm just going to apply this to the center. Oh, I wanted to use the Shake Primer for this. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but If you have the shake primer, I feel like that would be perfect for this look because it provides like more of an invisible base, but it's fine. Then I'm gonna use this little silicone brush. I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna take the shade Copperhead right there. I really like this color. And I'm just placing this on the inner and outer portion of where I applied my concealer. And I'm gonna kind of drag it into the deep shade that we applied to the inner and outer corner, just like that. And then I'm gonna take the lightest shade in the palette called Shiny Objects. Again, just on this little silicone brush. And then I'm kind of blending that into the copper shade that I applied first. Then again, with this little brush and what's remaining of the dark shade on it, I'm just going to kind of go over where the copper meets the deep shade and just kind of blend the two. Then I'm going to use some of my KVD tattoo pencil, or pen, liquid eyeliner pen, and just draw a thin line. And I'm not gonna wing it today. I usually don't when I do halo eyes. I really want the center of my lid to be the spotlight of the look. And I feel like when I add a wing, it kind of, you know, brings the attention to the outer corner. Okay, and that is the completed look. I'm gonna do my other eye and I'm going to add my bottom lash line and lashes. And then we can come back and do the rest of the face with the blushes and the lip. Okay, my friends, so I have finished off the eyes and I've done my concealer, my foundation, and a little bit of bronzer. So now let's move on to the cheeks. I think I want to use the lightest blush. I have like 6 of these on my desk here and I don't know which one is which. They're all the same packaging. I'm gonna go with this blush. This is Spot Me, either the deepest or the medium shade. I think it's the medium shade actually. And then I want the lightest highlighter for sure because I think that one might even be too dark. Yeah, okay, so this is the shade On a Streak, so that's the one I'm going to use. I never remember my favorite way to apply these products, so I'm just gonna go in with a brush, I think, first. So again, for blush, I'm using the shade Spot Me, and I'm just gonna use this one from Tarte. It's like a synthetic brush. I'm just gonna load up the product here, just directly on the brush. It's very terracotta. It's looking pretty orange on me, which is fine. It's definitely a look. See how dewy that is though? I feel like that's not usually how the formula is for these cream blushes, but I'm not complaining. I really like a dewy blush. If I'm gonna go for cream, I want the dew, you know? Very blendable, easy to blend out. Wow, super dewy. Like, whoa. Kind of like it, I don't know. If you have dry skin, definitely recommend these. And then I'm just going to take my beauty sponge and kind of tap along where the edges are just so I don't have a harsh line. I can't get over the dewiness there. Like, look at that. Wow. I almost don't need a highlighter, but we're gonna test it out anyway. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush. This is just a crease brush. I've been really enjoying using crease brushes for highlighter because I like to be more precise lately. And again, I'm gonna take the shade On a Streak. These are more matte than like in formula, not in finish, but these don't have the same dew that the blushes do. I can't even tell if it's doing anything because my cheeks are already so shiny. I think it is. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. That's pretty. Ooh, I really like this. I thought it was going to be too dark for me. It is. If you look straight on, you can kind of see where the product is, which means it's too dark. Maybe when I get a tan, this would be nice. That's like a mix of the dew and the highlighter. It's pretty blinding. Yeah, it's definitely too dark. You can see right there. So if you have fair skin, honestly, I would recommend passing on the duos. Well, unless you really want like a really pretty dewy blush or you want something for the summertime, but it is fall, so I probably won't bust these out for a while still. Pretty, just too dark for me, so that's a little disappointing. Ooh, the heat's on and now I'm getting really hot. Ooh. So honestly, next time I use those blushes, I just probably won't add a highlight on top. Not those ones anyways, just because the lightest is too dark for me. And I find that these are giving me enough glow as it is, just on their own. Do they sell the cheek products individually? Let me check. So I'd recommend the blushes, but if you're fair, not so much the highlighters. No, so it looks like they only come in a duo. I don't know when they changed the formula to make them so dewy because they definitely weren't like this before. And then for lips, I'm gonna take the rosy one, the one that's a little more cool tone that I really enjoyed. I I can't get over how pretty that color is. I love it. Okay, and this is the completed look. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I really like the palette. I think it's really gorgeous. I'm happy to have some warm neutrals in my collection. I don't know why, because I have a lot of them in my collection, but they still get me excited for some reason. Yeah, I really liked the blush sticks. The highlight sticks, not so much. I could see myself really enjoying them for summer. The lippies, really enjoyed those as well. I don't remember liking the Luxe lip formula as much as this. Like, it feels really nice and I really enjoy it, but I don't remember liking it this much. So yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say. I just wish that the medium toned blush sticks and the deep toned blush sticks were a little bit more different. And I also wish that the highlighter was a little more suitable for fair people like me. I think if you're like a couple shades darker than me, this would totally work for you. But if you're any more fair than me, like this will definitely be too dark. Yeah, those are my only critiques of the collection. If you don't like warm neutrals, then you probably won't like this collection, but I'm personally a big fan, especially for this time of year. So I thought it was a great collection. Not like the most unique by any means, but I still really liked it. And yeah, that is it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. I just really appreciate you being here. It helps out my channel so very much by you watching, so thank you. Please leave any video requests you may have in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.